What's up, guys? This is Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be talking about how athletes can gain weight during the season. I see so many athletes drop 10, 15 pounds during the season because they're not doing certain things to help themselves keep the weight on. So that's what we're going to be talking about today, and then we're going to be answering some questions that you guys asked on a previous episode of this show. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. Let's get started. All right, so there are really 5 things that athletes need to do during the season to at least help them keep their weight, maintain their weight, or maybe put on even a little bit weight, and you don't stop that weight gain growth that you had during the off season. So number one thing is you still have to lift. I think a lot of guys during the season, you know, they're a little beat up, they're a little tired, they're practicing almost every day, and they're not hitting the gym enough as much as they should be. So like if you have a game on Friday, like Monday and Tuesday, you should be lifting because there's really no excuse to have a lack of strength, but also a lack of size during the season because you don't play games every day, right, you guys? And then maybe on like Saturday evening or Sunday, I know it's after a game, I know your body's probably tired, but it'll be good for you, you guys. You need to make sure that you are still lifting. Now, do you need to like kill yourself in the gym, push yourself to ultimate failure where you can't even walk or whatever you're doing? No, you don't necessarily need to do that. But I know me personally, I had a lot of success during the season lifting and doing a good amount of reps. Like it would probably be in that 8 to 12 rep range. You never want to max out during the season because you never want to hurt yourself, obviously. But you want to stay in that 8 to 12 rep range and try to push yourself to like failure and maybe doing not a ton of high volume, not a ton of like bunch of sets. Like let's say squats, for example. Like you probably shouldn't be doing 10 sets of 12 reps. Maybe do like 4 sets, 5 at the max of 12 reps, right? Bench press. You shouldn't be doing 10 sets of 10 or lifting super heavy, only doing 3 reps where you might hurt yourself, you might really fatigue yourself. Weight that's manageable, 8 to 12 reps, do about 3 or 4 sets. Like you shouldn't be killing yourself with volume during the season because the worry is, am I going to be so fatigued that I won't be able to practice or won't be able to perform? Like I said, Monday, Tuesday, go upper body, lower body. Wednesday, Thursday, you recover. Friday, you have a game or whatever your schedule might be. But you need to lift during the season, guys, because that's going to help you obviously put on muscle or keep muscle on, okay? Now, obviously, it's not just about lifting because you could lift a whole bunch, but if you're not eating, then guess what? You're still not going to gain weight. It's about being in a calorie surplus, you guys. So what is a calorie surplus? So a calorie surplus is like, let's say you're burning 2,000 calories a day, right? You're burning 2,000 calories a day. You need to make sure that you are eating like 3,000 calories a day, 3,500 calories a day. Like that's where you ultimately want to be, right? You need to stay above your break-even point. So how do you figure out your break-even point? So what I recommend doing, and you could honestly do this just one day and then try to gather as much intel as you can from that day. Let's say it's a Monday where you have weights, then you go to practice and you have school all day. You could wear like a Fitbit, borrow somebody's Apple Watch, borrow like maybe something that you strap around your chest and just try to track, okay, I'm burning this many calories a day. I need to make sure that I'm eating this many calories a day. And how you figure out the calories is simple. You just look on the back of a food ingredient label, that's how many calories there are, okay, cool. And you map it out. And it's a process, it takes a little bit of detail and it takes a little bit of work, but I tell you guys, if you focus on staying in a calorie surplus, you're not gonna lose weight. You may maintain, even if you maintain, let's say you're burning 2,000 and you're eating 2,000, you may stay right at that spot, but that's fine. As long as we're not losing weight during the season, that is ultimately the goal. Okay, now before we get into the next 3 tips to help you keep weight on, gain weight during the season, you guys, if you're a QB or wide receiver watching this and you want to train with myself and my staff of coaches, we're going to be traveling out to 15 different cities across the entire country, you guys, for 2-day-long QB and wide receiver training camps this upcoming off season. So fellas, if you guys want to sign up, go to that very first link in the description below. That is where you can get all the information. Guys, we're going to be coming out to San Francisco, California, Orlando, Florida, Phoenix, Arizona, Columbia, South Carolina, Seattle, Washington, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, Nashville, Tennessee, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Austin, Texas, Atlanta, Georgia, Denver, Colorado, Columbus, Ohio, Boston, Massachusetts, Salt Lake City, Utah, and finishing it off in Los Angeles, California. So guys, you're local to any one of those cities, we'd absolutely love to have you out. Go to that very first link in the description below. That is where you can sign up, okay? Now, let's get back to this video. So I would say now, tip number 3 to help you gain weight, make sure that a big source of your diet is protein. So as an athlete, Here's what happens. When you're lifting, when you're running, when you're playing football, you get these micro tears in your muscle that you can't feel. That's what happens when you work out. You do curls, you get these micro tears in your bicep, and then your body repairs those tears, and that's how your muscles get bigger, right? That's common, like, lifting science, if you will, right? What helps you repair those micro tears faster is protein, right? So you need to make sure that you are consuming 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight that you have. You may have to supplement that with protein shakes, which is fine. If you guys want a good protein powder that you could use, just post in the comment section of this video that you want a protein powder, and I'll send you over one that I highly recommend. So you may have to supplement with protein shakes, but if you're 150 pounds, 150 grams of protein is what you should be trying to consume. And that obviously goes into your calorie count that we were talking about earlier in this video, but it helps you recover a little bit easier, and it can help your body stay fresh, which is important during the season. Now, tip number 4, you guys, to help you maintain weight, gain weight, scheduling time to eat and get your body on a clock. Your regiment is very, very key because your body gets used to that regimen, right? It takes about a week, 2 weeks to get used to that regimen. So you got to schedule out time to eat. Me personally, I'll give you the schedule that I had when I would eat. So our practice during the season when I was in high school, let's give the high school schedule because I know most of you are in high school. We'd have practice after school at 2 o'clock. We'd lift from 2 to 3, and then we'd have practice from 3:30 to probably 5:30 or 6 o'clock. Right? So that was our schedule. I would wake up at around like 6:30 a.m. Class didn't start till like maybe 8 a.m. And I would eat. I'd eat a breakfast, right? I'd have eggs. I'd have like a couple pieces of toast. I'd probably do things differently now, but this is what I can remember. It'd be peanut butter toast, and then I'd have like a banana, right? Then I would go to school. After my first period, I'd have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Then we'd go to second period. We'd have a little break. I'd go to fourth period or third period. I'd have another peanut butter and jelly sandwich. We'd have a lunch break. I'd eat lunch, and then we would go to practice. Then after practice, we'd come home, have a protein shake, and I would eat dinner, and then that would be my meal for the day. But I had it scheduled out. This is the time I'm eating. This is the time I have snack. This is the time I have other snack. This is the time I eat dinner. The time I eat lunch. Bam. And school makes it easy for you because they give you those break times and you know exactly when it's going to be. So you got to get your body on a clock and schedule out time to eat. Because if you're burning a lot of calories, like we mentioned earlier in this video, you got to eat, man. And if you're missing meals, missing snacks, going all day without eating, that's not going to be good, guys. You're going to lose weight. I remember one year I lost 10 pounds. It was my junior year of high school. I lost 10 pounds during the season. I looked like skin and bones, look like a skeleton, man. And I was already light to begin with. And I worked so hard in the off season, put on this weight, and then during the season I lose it all, right? You don't want that to happen. So I made sure my senior year and years prior in college that never happened to me again, okay? Now, tip number 5, you guys, you got to get sleep. Here's the thing. If you want, because everybody's worry when it comes to lifting during the season is I'm not going to be able to perform at practice. Got to give your body time to recover. So you need to be getting 8 to 10 hours of sleep every single night. If you get to bed at 10 and you get up at 7, how many hours is that? 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 9 hours of sleep. 10 p.m., wake up at 7 a.m. I think that's a totally fine schedule for you guys to have. Wake up at 6 a.m. That's still 8 hours of sleep because sleep is how your body recovers and how your body rests. So you could get more out of the gym workout that you're going to do that day, whether it's a Monday, Tuesday, or Saturday or Sunday, and you're going to get more out of the practice that you're going to have that day. And sleep, honestly, that's when your muscles grow too as well. So if you're trying to put on weight or put on size, sleep is so important, you guys. You need to make sure that you're getting good sleep. I get it. You might be stressed out with schoolwork, might be stressed out with practice, but you got to be regimented about your sleep because it takes a lot of dedication to help keep weight on or especially gain weight during the actual football season, okay? All right, you guys, so now what we do at the end of every episode on our show is that we answer 3 questions that you guys left from a previous episode of one of our shows. So guys, if you have questions, you know the deal. If you've been following our YouTube channel, I read and respond to every single comment that we get. So if you guys have comments, questions, want to be featured on our next episode, post in the comment section below. I will get back to you. I promise you I will get back to you. And the best questions we'll feature on the next episode. So guys, we're going to get into some of those questions now, but we really appreciate the support and enjoy interacting with you guys as always. So from Kobe Kirshner, 6693. Is there any catching I can do by myself? So 2 catching drills you can do by yourself. You need a tennis ball, stand up against a wall, shut your eyes, throw the tennis ball off the wall. When you hear it hit the wall, open your eyes, catch the tennis ball one-handed. Do like 25 reps on each hand. Another thing you could do, either kneel down or stand up depending on the size of the wall, have your back to a wall like I do right here, take a tennis ball, toss it over your head while looking straight forward. You hear it hit the wall, you look up, you catch one-handed. So it works on over-the-shoulder tracking. tracking. 2 drills for hand-eye coordination. Very easy to do. That does not require a quarterback, okay? So I appreciate you asking that question, man. Hope that was able to help. Next question from Trap Kicks K4M. Coach, what can I do to get more confidence as a wide receiver? So confidence as any football player at any position really comes from 2 things. The work that you're putting in. So you need to make sure that you're working. Every single day you're focused on getting 1% better in areas of your game that you need to improve on. Let's say you need to get faster. You need to improve your speed. Say you need to get better route running. You need to work on those areas. And you need to work and work and work until those areas are up to par or you feel like you have a good grasp on that. Then it's all about self-image. If you're really talented physically but you have a poor self-image of yourself, I'm bad, I'm a backup, I'm not good, like that's going to reflect your play. You need to have a better self-image of yourself like, no, I can be a starter. I'm that guy. Even if you have to lie to yourself at first, even if you don't feel deep down that you are that dude, the only things you can control as a player is your actions and your mind. Only 2 things we can control as humans. So how do you respond to certain things and what do you actually, like, what are you thinking, right? So if you're telling yourself, but if you're just talking to yourself, telling you all these positive things, trust me, your play is going to reflect that on the field over time. But you can't let the negative thoughts creep in that you're not good enough, but the work has to back that up. A lot of guys say good things to themselves, but they have no work ethic. So it's going to fail them and then they blame the system. That's not the case. You need to have both, okay? So I hope that makes sense, man. I appreciate you asking that. Next question from Matt Clark, N8P. How to deal with high school football politics. You're the best quarterback, but they give the school board parents kids the reps and want you to play a different position. So if you're dealing with daddy ball, coaching politics, especially at the high school level, you know, this year, you got to stick it out because too late in the year to transfer. So you got to stick it out. You need to make it your personal mission that I'm going to make every single player, every single coach, every single parent believe that I'm the guy at my position. You say you're a quarterback. So if you're a quarterback, dude, you got to be the best freaking quarterback on that roster. There should be nothing to chance. That guy who's playing over you, even if he's the coach's kid, a booster club parent's kid, whatever, he can't be better than you in one area. Like, I was in a similar situation where I was competing with the athletic director's kid, and he had a quicker release than I did, right? But every other aspect of the game, I was better than him in, but he had one thing on me. And he got the edge up because he was a little bit older. So it's like, it's hard when you leave things up to chance like that. Nothing to the judges. Every aspect of the game, you need to be better than your competition at. And if it gets to that point where you feel like nothing's going to change, then the next year you could think about transferring. And I recommend that because usually those situations don't change that often. But you got to be honest with yourself. Make sure you are honest with yourself. Is it really that he's the coach's kid or there's politics, or are you just not that good enough in certain areas? So that's what I would say, okay? So I appreciate you asking that, man. Thank you for asking that question. All right, fellas, you guys, appreciate everybody tuning in. Hope this was able to help. Hope you guys got some value out of this episode. But again, guys, if you have questions, comments, don't hesitate. Post those in the comment section below. And guys, if you're a QB or wide receiver and want to train with us, remember, very first link in that description below. That's where you can sign up for one of our camps. So again, guys, really appreciate it. We'll see you next time.